Good morning! It's Tuesday the 23rd of July and it's about 9:40 now. Just caught the bus down from Dunbar where I stayed on a wonderful campsite last night. And just on that subject, I drove up there yesterday afternoon, having done my long walk on Tuesday and had a nice rest. It was a big edit and I fancied a day off, and plus the fact the weather was not that good. It was very strong winds, around about 40 to 50 miles an hour, which is not good for filming in, as you know. And I'm sorry on the last film that I had to reduce the volume so much on some of the scenes that it was almost silent, but there was no other way, I'm afraid. I can't separate the sound of the sea from the sound of the wind, and so I played the music, and it was gentle music. It wasn't in your face particularly, and I think it fitted quite well, if you don't mind me saying, and I hope you enjoyed it. This morning I'm back where I started, in a place called Cockburnspath, and I went across and just videoed the fascia of the bowls club, because when I was here the other night, these people very kindly sheltered me, actually, because the wind was getting up. It was getting a bit cold at that time, and I stayed in the bowls club for about an hour or more, having already had a cup of tea at this wonderful woman called Jacqueline, and she had a guy with her, and they were loading the car with some furniture or something or other, and they invited me in for a cup of tea, which was fantastic. In actual fact, 2 cups of tea, and it was wonderful. My plan today is simply to walk back to Dunbar, the campsite that I stayed at. When I booked in, which would have been about maybe 10 o'clock yesterday morning, maybe 9 o'clock, something like that, the owner was there, a guy called Mark, lovely guy, and there's a couple of receptionists, and I told them I was doing a walk for charity, which I am, and could I book a night or 2 or maybe even 3, depending on the way I work out the logistics in the next few days. And he said, yeah, no problem, free of charge. Now I said, well, just give me 1 night and I'll pay for the other 2. No, we think it's a great cause. What a lovely guy, very friendly staff, absolutely spotless campsite, totally recommended. I showed you the shots of it earlier before I left, and I hope to be able to speak to Mark later when I get back. So it's only going to be about an 8-hour walk, or 8-mile walk or somewhere like that today. I'm going to stick pretty much to the path. I might have to make it up as I go along. I might make the odd mistake, you never know. But the one thing about this is, even though it might be a short extracts of the walk along the A1, because you won't want to watch too much of that. But Dunbar looks like a fantastic place. It looks like a very quaint, old, sort of Scottish city, very Scottish buildings, and laid out in a very typical Scottish way, but nevertheless absolutely beautiful. And I might be able to get to talk to some people in Dunbar, and I'll show you around. And I did notice there's some great shots to be had, looking over the bay and looking to the south, and showing all of the walk that I did yesterday, which would be really nice, and you get another view of it. So as I say, I'm in no rush today. This might just be a short film, or it might be added on to tomorrow's, where I'm hoping to walk all the way through to North Berwick, where there is a clearly defined coastal path, and it should be quite easy and very much across the fields to get there. So that's it, and so it's time for me to say, here we go. See you, Jimmy. Well, this is Fiona and this is Matt, and I've just arrived here on the beach actually, having started to follow the John Muir Way, and I'm sure you might be able to tell me a little bit more about that, Matt, in the future. But yeah, you were saying you're local people and you live in Cockburnspath, which is where I finished my walk the day before yesterday. So you were saying you come down here nearly every day then for a walk?
Yes, we come down, cup of coffee, sit and just enjoy it, and when the waves are coming in it's really quite marvellous.
I can imagine that. So that's a nice Birmingham accent you've got.
Well, let's West Midlands, shall we call it?
Well, go on. Where?
Kidderminster.
Kidderminster. Oh well, now that's a nice part of the world.
Having said that, I've not been to Kidderminster since 1974.
Oh right. Oh, it's still there.
Yes. I've heard it's not fallen into a hole or anything since I've left.
No.
But
I don't notice it.
I was in the army for years, so you'd thought and I've lived up in Scotland now for 30 years since I got out of the army, but can't lose the accent.
It's amazing, isn't it? It's because it's still quite pronounced, really.
Yes.
I mean, I'm from Hull and I've lived in lots and lots of different places, so I've lost quite a lot of my accents over the years. See, we're still getting this bit of wind that just suddenly shoots up. And it's
nice though.
I think we'll be all right with all of this. But you're actually a true Scottish lady.
Yes, I was born in Edinburgh, but my father went and then we were in Germany, came back to Aldershot, and then when my son was born in 1984, we came back up to the borders because my parents had moved from Kinlochleven to the borders, so we've been here 30 odd years now.
Oh, do you think you'll like it then?
Oh, definitely. But I still miss the mountains. When I get up to Glencoe, that's me home.
Yes.
Because that's my sort of, I suppose, spiritual home, really. Where I was brought up. Lots of happy memories.
Right.
Yeah.
And so, do you do a lot of sort of coastal path walking? Is it been one of your?
No, we do have a couple of bikes, and we take them up to the caravan occasionally up near Glencoe, and there's a beautiful cycle track up there that's hardly used. There's an awful lot of cyclists still using the road to Oban as opposed to the cycle track. So but you get some beautiful views of the coastline, Stalker Castle, Appin, and all those places. It's beautiful.
Well, I'm looking forward to all that. To be honest, since I crossed the border, having walked. Before I started Scotland, I was doing like Norfolk and Lincolnshire, where there's not one natural hill. It's quite a complicated system. There's not much of a coastal path to follow. There are beaches and stuff, but they come in fits and starts, and you spend an awful lot of time road walking. So I was always trying to make a film that looked interesting by showing houses and cabbages and fields, and it was nothing like a coastal path as I know it, having done the southwest coastal path, and the Pembrokeshire and all around Wales, sort of that way. And so I'm so relieved to actually get back to having something serious to video.
That's great.
Well, I mean, the West Highland Way from Glasgow up to Fort William. The views that you'll get from there are stunning. Just make sure you've got your midgie stuff with you.
Well, my plan is actually for me now to walk as far north as I can get before I have to turn back for the weather. And next year start in March, somewhere around there, and go up the west coast from Gretna Green and come round to wherever I finish. Hopefully that'll be John O'Groats. But people did warn me that the West Highland Way in autumn is full of midges and kids and wasps and all the
clegs are the other one. The horseflies.
Horseflies.
Yeah, we call them clegs.
And they bite like they're
I've
worse
heard
than
about
midges.
this. But if I go in the early spring,
you should be all right.
Or
later on, September onwards, you get the odd wasp there. Otherwise,
I mean, we were up a couple of weeks ago at the caravan, and the weather was lovely, and the midges went back. When the damp comes down, that's when they can be quite bad, But if you've got a sunny day with a bit of breeze, then they're not quite so bad.
Wonderful. Well, look, it's been an absolute pleasure meeting you two people. It's lovely, and one of the things I like about not all the places I go to is also the people and the attitude, and every Scots person I've come across. I mean, somebody did say to me, "Hey, see you, Jimmy." That kind. And I thought, well, how does he know my name?
Yes.
But it was quite funny. But seriously, I did come across one guy in St Abs who was in his car, and it was 7:30 in the morning, and he wanted to be past me, and he actually touched the back of my legs with his car. And so I gave him a bit of grief.
I don't blame you.
He was in such a rush, 7:30 in the morning, and all he did when I eventually let him through, he just loading some snorkel gear onto a boat. And so I said, what was the rush? And we had a bit of a
argument.
He won't do it again. And when it came to me walking back from the end of the pier where his car was, I walked really slowly so he couldn't get past, and I stopped and took some photographs so he couldn't get past. And I just thought, well, this will show you.
Karma. Karma's a good thing.
And that's the only. And the thing was, I've got to say, it wasn't a Scotsman. It was a Geordie.
Oh dear.
And I'm being dead honest. But all the rest, it's been really good.
Oh, well, I hope you have a really good one.
Thank you.
It's a lovely place, this.
Yes, it is. Thank you very much. I'll see you on.
Yeah,
Bye-bye.
yeah.
Now. Bye-bye.
Bye.
It's 12:15 now and I'm just having a break. I've come to the power station and there's a path that goes all the way around it, a little bit out of the way, but it just gets me nearer the coast and I don't want to be near the traffic, having thought about it. 11 miles and walking along the A1 would be suicide really, and this is a far more interesting walk, and I've met one or two people on the way as you've seen, and very nice people. I'm absolutely totally knocked out with these Scottish people. They're just so friendly, you know, and it's absolutely great. And I should make it in about 2 hours, and I'm going to treat myself to some fish and chips today. I've got a bit of shopping to do. I've got to go and get some food and some beer. I'm keeping my stocks to the absolute minimum because I've been throwing away more than I've been eating. And I had a strange night in bed last night. It was warm, very warm, but I still got into my sleeping bag. But I woke up this morning at 3 o'clock and I was absolutely wringing wet through, and I had to abandon my sleeping bag and just sleep with a blanket because it was wet. And I took it outside and dried it out this morning. The sun dried it out fairly quickly, but it needs a wash. Well, there's a good facility on the campsite. There's a washing machine and all the rest of it. I've got my washing to do this afternoon, and I'll edit up this film, and things are going great. You know, I know I've said this all along. This is just absolutely brilliant, and I'm sure you've noticed there's a massive upturn in my mood. I feel much calmer. I'm very happy here, and this is going to be brilliant. I'm going to be doing this for like near on a year, you know. I mean, it's going to be like this every day, and I'm really, really looking forward to getting up, you know, up into the Highlands and doing the West Coast and everything. And I thought that was going to be the wonderful part. But if this compared to that is sort of the East Coast, and which is supposedly not as scenic, it's going to be terrific when I get up there. And I'm really looking forward to it. I've got Ray coming on the 29th, which is next week, and by which time I should have got past Edinburgh and probably over the Forth Bridge, and we'll be walking like St Andrews, Dundee, which will be really nice. There's some wonderful scenery along that coast as well, and there's, even though it seems to be all of a level, there's none of these nasty inlets that catch you out every now and again. And Ray'll have his car, so it's going to make the logistics so much easier, and we can tailor make walks to a certain length because Ray wants to walk some of them. I'm not sure whether he said he's capable of walking it all, but we can fit around him. He's here for a week's holiday. He's hired a car. He's such a remarkable bloke, and I love him to bits, and it's going to be lovely having Ray with me, and really looking forward to it. We had such a good time when we met in Grimsby last weekend, and I'm really looking forward to it. It's going to be fantastic. So I'm going to press on again, and I should be, as I say, in Dunbar in a couple of hours, and that is really worth seeing, and I'm going to get some nice video of Dunbar. It's getting warmer and warmer by the minute. just walking past the what do they call it again? The
Torness Power Station, the nuclear power station.
I noticed that you work here.
I do, yeah.
Right. Now you was telling me about you've never actually walked around the whole perimeter before. Then,
no, I guess it's like this warm breeze coming up from Iberian Peninsula.
Yeah.
That sort of brought me out. So yeah, first time I happened to walk around, I met you. Yeah, it's amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a fantastic.
So are you a local man then?
No, I'm actually from Aberdeenshire, from Fraserburgh. So
really?
I moved down here for love and
Yeah.
economy.
Oh well, I'm heading that way. I'm hoping
really?
to get to John O'Groats within 3 months before the winter sets in.
Oh wow, 3 months.
And if it does, I'll be out of there. I mean, whenever the weather stops me. In other words, I walked all the way around. I know it's a different ball game. I walked all the way around Cornwall in the winter.
Right.
All the way around. Never stopped.
Jeez, how often do you do these like massive escapades? I mean, you often like.
I'm always doing things like this.
Sounds like it. Yeah,
I'm
brilliant.
Adventure bloke, you know what I mean?
Definitely a bit of an adventurer.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I must admit, it's inspirational. I mean, I really hope you wish you well.
Thank you very much.
And,
I mean, I'm 70 and I keep on going, and I don't know how I do it at times. I burn the candle at both ends quite often.
You certainly don't look 70. Oh, the police are going to come in and interview them and all.
Oh yeah. Hello. What's going on here then, eh? What's going on, eh? Yeah.
Yeah, the drive round, because it's a nuclear site, drive round the perimeter every so often. I'm not sure. Obviously the security's pretty high.
I have noticed that. I mean, I got stopped when I was in Ravenglass, was it, up in Cumbria, and they had machine guns and everything. And,
they do.
And I walked off the train, with a camera in my hand. Who are you? I was like arrested for about an hour until they checked me out before they'd let me go.
Oh yeah, could well believe it. I mean,
I said, do I look like a terrorist?
Maybe not in those shorts, no.
It's a giveaway, isn't it?
Yeah. Maybe look like a bit of a hiker, possibly.
There's nothing wrong with my shorts. The thing is, I've lost so much weight, and my waist size has been getting lower and lower, and I was like chucking jeans away, and I thought, why do that? So I just cut the bottoms off now.
Yeah,
and I've got loads of pairs. Lovely to meet you, Martin.
You too. And like I say, best of luck. It's a fantastic day for it.
It is lovely. Right, thank you very much indeed. And I'll have a look at your band. Have you got some stuff on?
We do have some stuff on YouTube. We've got like our own website, which is We Are Silhouettes. The band's called Silhouettes.
Right.
wearesilhouettes.co.uk, I think it is.
Right.
Yeah. There's some like pop stuff and Britney Spears covers and a bit of Fleetwood Mac as well.
Oh right,
like that,
I mean, yeah. I mean, I do play a bit of that sort of stuff. You know what I mean? But my heart's into Hendrix,
Yeah. Well, I love him as well. Actually,
Yeah.
I'm the guitar player, so
Yeah.
so I could see we're sort of kindred spirits that way,
Absolutely. Yeah. Well, if you check out that site, if you look for Purple Haze, on there, and it's a performance that we did in Bulgaria, in Sofia, in the capital, when it was there was the uprising against the government, and they used to build a big stage right outside the Houses of Parliament with a 50,000 watt PA system. And when it was their Thursday meeting, we used to play as loud as we possibly could, so it disrupted the meeting. And there was always about 5,000 to 10,000 people on the street, and it was absolutely amazing.
When was this? What year was this?
2013.
2013. Oh wow.
Yeah.
I'm going to check that. It's amazing. You're never going to guess this coincidence. But there's two female singers in the band, fantastic singers, and they're both from Bulgaria.
Really?
Yeah. What is it? That's an amazing coincidence.
I would say Drafty Dobaden and all that stuff. Yeah.
I speak nothing. It means nothing to me, but...
What's the names?
Dahlia and Alex.
Dahlia and Alex?
Alexandrina.
Dahlia and Alex.
Of course, yeah.
I've never heard of them. Nice one, mate.
No worries.
Lovely to see you. It's Wednesday the 24th of July and it's 9 o'clock now. Now you're probably wondering why that film came to such an abrupt end. Well, that was what I was thinking actually, having been by the power station in the shade for quite a while because it was getting hot. I then decided to move on, came to an incline, probably about 50 steps, something like that. Walked to the top in no particular hurry or anything like that, and I felt quite dizzy when I got to the top. I leaned on a fence just because I was feeling a bit woozy, and the next thing I knew, I woke up, I don't know how long afterwards, but I'd collapsed. And it took me a while to get my head together. I laid back down and relaxed, and because it was uncomfortable to sit upright for a while. And then I decided, well, there's no rush, I've got loads of time to recover from this. It was very breezy, which was disguising the fact that it was so hot. And I did have a cap on. I know I've just looked at this film work that I've just done, and every time you see me I don't have my cap on, but I did have my cap on most of the day. Because it was hot, and I've got this very tender spot on the top of my head. So that put me in a bit of a difficult situation. I was in quite an isolated place alongside the power station. And I just laid down and went to sleep for about an hour and woke up, and there was a chap walking past. I managed to stand up by then against a wall. And I made my way to a place called Skateraw Airfield. Well, that's where it used to be during the First World War, a place called Skateraw Airfield, where there's a car park and there's a toilet and there's, you know, quite a number of people there and tables to sit at. I'd got plenty of water. In fact, I think maybe one of the reasons I carried quite a big extra bottle of water, because I knew I wouldn't be able to get a drink or a cup of tea or anything, so I brought some extra water with me because I knew it was going to be hot as well. But it's the first time it's ever happened to me where I've just collapsed on a walk. Never has it happened before. It took me, the guy who I met said, where are you going? I told him. He said, I'll run you back. And his mother was with him as well and everything. Very, very nice bloke from Glasgow, him and his mother. And they dropped me off back here at the campsite where I'm at now. And it was a bit worrying. Funnily enough, I had quite a long telephone conversation with Trish last night, and she's doing fine. She's been doing some walking, and she went to see a specialist the other day, and all the news is good news, but they do need to do some more work with her, and it might involve a scan. And but they are happy with the progress, even though she's still in an ever wondering kind of situation, and she's not going to get a driving licence back from DVLC because she's got to wait 6 months from the date of the operation. Well, it was lovely to speak to her, and I was telling her about today, collapse today kind of thing, and she said, well, maybe you're overdoing it, and I don't think I am overdoing it. I keep asking myself, I want to make progress. Is it the right time? Is it the right weather? I mean, last night, as an example, it was absolutely heaving it down all night, and I've got a shot here. This is what it's like at the moment. So I don't think I'm going to be walking today. And even if it was perfect conditions, I think it'd be a good idea to give myself 24 hours rest and totally recover. I'm drinking plenty of tea, and I'm having lots of food. And I went to Asda last night and got lots of different food and loads of oranges and fruit and you know, to kind of think about what I'm eating and how much I'm eating and so on. But anyway, I'm okay. I'm fine. I'm here. I'm not dead or anything like that. And so I'll see you tomorrow. I'm sure I'm going to be walking tomorrow. And just one more point. This particular area, the internet signal is very, very poor. So it's taken a longer time to do the edits and actually publish them to YouTube. And not that it makes a great deal of difference to you, but if they come a little bit later than they have been coming in the past, it's simply because it's just taking so much more time to do this. But apart from that, I'm feeling great. So, bye now.